Hello and welcome to the monthly Marquee. I'm your host, Bart Levins, and our first guest today is Miss Sarah Vaughn, representing the Historic State Theater. Sarah, how are you? How are things going?
Great, Bart. Thanks so much for having us on. I apologize for the messy office behind me, but it
You
is
look
what
you look like your ceiling at least is decorated for spring.
yes, it is. We are so welcoming in the beautiful weather here, even though I don't have a window in this office. That's my connection to spring and summer and happiness.
Well, and right along those lines, we were talking right before we started recording. Speaking of spring and outside and everything, you're getting ready today to make some announcements. By the time this airs, they'll be public, but you're getting ready to make some announcements about what summer and outdoor activities are looking like for the state.
That is exactly right, Bart. So we just wrapped up a great indoor event. It was a bridal event, and it was, and you can understand this, it was refreshing to have people roaming around the building. It was refreshing to be busy. It was refreshing to be all over the place last week. So we have decided, because it went so well and it was taken so well into the community, we've decided to add a few more, maybe not bridal events, but we're looking at some other potentially new events that we're hoping to kind of put on in a little bit shorter notice, I guess, for the year, that will be new, something that can continue on. So more info to come there, that we hope to kind of add some things to the calendar for this year, because like I said, that went so well, it was very safe, all of those good things. We also just want to show off the building because we're proud of the changes we've made and all of the cool stuff. But our rentals are definitely picking up momentum. People are ready to rent, they're ready to party, they're ready to get going. We announced last week we have a rental coming. I say a rental, which to some people is like, oh, it's a private event. No, it's a public concert by John Conley. He's been multiple times in the last several years, and they're always sold out shows. And so those tickets are on sale now at the state270.org. And then all of our concerts have been pushed to September and on, because we are at less capacity. And John Conley right now, the tickets will be sold to the level of capacity that we're at. And so if we open up 100%, we can sell out. If we stay where we're a little less than 300 tickets. So we're just going to kind of roll with the times, roll with the punches, if you will. So we have those things going on. We have a movie coming up in a couple of weeks. It's Detective Pikachu, a kid movie. Thanks to our sponsors at T-Mobile, all of the kiddos 12 and under get a free kids pack. So we're continuing with some movies and some cool things. We're going to have another one at the end of the month. We're still waiting on announcing the title of that. I mean, it's going great. And with the weather turning, makes us kind of this renewed sense of spirit, and the vaccinations getting rolled out. So all of that to say, we're hoping that things really start changing and the calendar gets more full and more full. We also have announced that, or we will be announcing today, but by the time people see this, that we already announced that our outdoor events. So we unfortunately have had to make the tough decision that the Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue event will be canceled for this year again. We are going to have to cancel the downtown portion of the car show for the cruising, the Saturday event anyway. So that won't be happening. But some cool things, we are going to be doing something. So first, we're announcing that we're welcoming in country artist Daryl Worley, who will be showcasing a concert on June the 26th in downtown E-Town. More info on tickets to come, but those will go on sale. April the 9th will be the on sale date for that. And you'll be able to get those at the state270.org and also etownevents.com. And we're able to do that event because we can control the crowd. So the decision,
yes, people are going, here we just said everything's opening up, everything's great, and then you're going, but these things are canceled. And I think it's important to explain why some things are possible and other things are not.
Exactly. It's not just because I think that every single one of us have ran into companies and businesses that have found it convenient to say, due to COVID, we can't do this. That is not the reason for the cancellation of the outdoor events. The reason is the crowd control. we know that Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue brings in around 18 to 25,000 people downtown, and several areas of our downtown during that event is shoulder to shoulder. And we really don't want to, is it really smart for us? And that was the question we asked. Is it really smart for us in the middle of a pandemic to host an event where we know 20,000 people have been recorded to be down here in years past? Is that really a good steward, being a good steward in our community and being the city government? It's not the smartest thing to do right now. So we can't control the crowd. There's no way to do it downtown. We can't rope off this huge area. We talked about, should we move it? Should we have it in different spots? And the calendar just doesn't lend itself to that. And we also have a lot of money goes out the door when you say we're having this event. And so when those deposits and when that money goes out the door, you're not getting that back. And so we don't know what September and October is going to look like. The only decision at this point is just to wait until we do know for a fact. And that might be 2022, we hope. So same thing for cruising. We cannot control the number of cars. We usually see about 4,000 or more cars down here. And then if the foot traffic with that holds anywhere to 15 to 20,000 people estimated. So once again, can't control the crowd. It's just not good. The concert, however, we're placing it in a spot downtown where we can. We're going to be roping it off. There's going to be only so many ways in that will be monitored, and it will be ticketed. And so the area that we're going to have it in actually lends itself to about 9,000 people can fit in that. If you look at 10 square foot per person, which is the average. So we're going to knock that down to a third. So we're only going to sell 2,500 to 3,000 tickets. And that final number has not been decided upon just yet. We'll get that information out in the next week or so. But we have had folks asking about the Heartland Parade. And to be completely transparent, we have not made a decision on that yet. It is a little bit of a different situation than a large festival. And so we're working through those details. July the 4th, West Banco Founders Day will be happening. We found a way last year to do that safely. And so we're going to be doing that again. That will be held off of College Street and parking at HCTC and all that good stuff. We had a great response last year. Better than we've ever.
Woo!
Yes. Who doesn't love a good fireworks show? So that will be happening. I can tell you that. And then we'll have our wine festival back in September 18th. So we'll get more information out individually about these events. Everything's updated on the website to the best of what we know now at etownevents.com. And then, of course, if you want to just know directly about the theater rentals or movies, concerts happening here, you can go to thestate270.org. So, at least, Bart, this conversation wasn't nothing's going on or, playing our fingers again. And
we're not sitting in our PJs at home. We've got stuff to get done.
Got stuff to get done. I do have on work pants and not sweatpants. I promise.
Sarah, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
You too. Thanks, Bart.
Xandra, it's so nice to meet you. This is going to be your first time on our stage, so this is going to be a little bit of a different interview. Usually we're talking to students that have years on our stage, have done a lot of things, have met me, worked with me before, so this could be a little bit different. I'm really looking forward to getting to know you better.
This should be fun.
So right before we started recording, you mentioned this is your first year in drama over at North Hardin. What interested you to become involved with the drama club?
At first, it was just trying to find a club to get into that was rather more easy. And then all of my friends said, you should get into drama club. You would be really good at it. And then I was like, the hardest part about it is trying to remember all the words to the play. But then I joined the club and she walked me through everything. She said, just make the story your own. Even if you don't remember the words, make it your own. And it's just been fun ever since.
Well, and I think that's an interesting take on performing for you particularly, because one of the things that I found out about you through the Tuesday's Teen article that you had in the News Enterprise, and congratulations on being recognized for that, by the way. But one of the things you mentioned was that you're interested in possibly becoming a news person, a news anchor, a journalist. And I think that's really integral to journalism as well. You've got to find a way to make that story your own. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. I was actually, when I did the whole newspaper interview thing, I left like 2 hints in there, and I'm glad that somebody picked up on one. I get to meet with a news anchor, hopefully either this Friday or next Friday, with thanks to my teacher, Mr. Creason at North. He is a very well-known news anchor. He's like the head of something down in Atlanta, and he just wants to meet with me. I've been talking to him for a couple of days. We tried to exchange, but he's in surgery right now. So wishing him all the best. Yeah.
That's fantastic news. It's really interesting when you put it out there to the world. Sometimes it will come right back to you tenfold.
Because I'm trying to start a network, so I figured it'd be best if you start leaving like little hints in certain areas, like newspaper or like social media, and I'll start letting people know that you're serious about what you want to do. So,
what interests you about becoming a journalist?
What interested me about becoming a journalist was years ago, was just watching the news with my grandmother, and I used to always just like say I wanted to be one of them. It just seemed really fun.
Yes, yeah, and
I wanted to like tell news to people, and so like when middle school came around, I started just telling my teachers what I wanted to, because they kept asking us, what do you want to be when you get to high school and then graduate? So I was like, I want to be a news anchor. Tell me all the steps, tell me everything I have to do. So during middle school, I took speech classes. I took a journalism class in middle school. I did the news team in middle school. Transferring over to high school, I did the news team for a year, but then COVID-19 came along. So kind of put a couple of things on hold, but I'm in front of myself there.
What is news team? I'm not familiar with that.
The news team at North Middle and at North Hardin is where in the morning you go and you tell like all the morning announcements. So there's sports section. There is a like what's going to have for lunch today, what's the weather like, what movie's going to premiere, how like which team took first place or is going to regional. There's also like little messages for teachers, like if you have meetings this afternoon or something. Yeah, so it's pretty much like the news, but for students. And
sure, it's part of the morning announcements there.
Mm-hmm.
In drama club right now, and I have to say, for your first year in drama club, this is a very unique drama club. Is always unique, but right now in the middle of a pandemic, very, very unique situation that you find yourself in. What have rehearsals been like for this production?
Rehearsals has been fun. I love rehearsal days. It is no pressure at all. It's just been like, we do have to keep our mask on. We do have to stay 6 feet apart, because that's the only way we actually been able to rehearsal like after school. And we do have to keep our distance, but rehearsing has been easy. It's just been the same as any normal. It's just, less people,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what exactly is the production you guys are going to be doing this month?
All right, so the production that we're going to be doing this month is called The Pandemic Did Not Define Them. I think that's the right name for it, but yes, I think it's called The Pandemic Did Not Define Them. And what it's all about is about these group of children telling a story about how, all this bad things has happened to them in the pandemic, but then getting closer to the end, when all the second monologues come out, it gets better for them, it gets funnier for them, and, life gets a little bit better as we're still living in this COVID time. So
I really want to thank you for doing this. I know this was very spur of the moment. We usually pick our PAC student at the beginning of the month so they could be part of our video magazine, the monthly Marquee, on HCEC-TV. And I didn't have a student to recognize. And so when that article was in the paper, it's like, man, I really want to jump on this and try to get this out so that we can help promote your guys' show coming up at the end of February. North Hardin Drama. And what was the name of it again, we think?
The Pandemic Did Not Define Them.
I think that, boy, I want to get that cross-stitched on a pillow for everybody. That's kind of the phrase for the decade right now. Xander, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you.
How are you, sir? It's been a while.
It's good to be back. I was a regular on this delightful program.
You've had auditions,
right?
for Hardin County Playhouse's first production since Night Mother, correct?
Yeah, it'll by the
Was
time we go up, it'll be over a year since Night Mother.
And what is the production that you're directing?
It's called Talking With by Jane Martin. It's a piece from 1982, and it's 11 monologues specifically for women. It's very empowering, very personal, touching, moving stories about 11 phenomenal women, just extraordinary women in their own ways.
And so they chose you to direct it, naturally.
I chose me to direct it.
So you found the script.
I did. I was on the run crew in a Pro-Am production of this in Bowling Green in 1996.
Oh, son of a gun.
Yeah, I fell in love with this show back then. And so ever since then, I've thought if I ever get a chance to choose my show, direct a show, I would like to do this one.
Well, and it's great timing and it's a great choice. One, we have an inordinate amount of women that are involved in community theater. So it's a great opportunity for them. We have a lot of talent to pull from. And with it being an evening of monologues, it's a little bit easier to deal with rehearsal wise and staging wise in the situation that we find ourselves right now.
Absolutely. We were trying to figure out what show could we do with minimal cast or that you could stage in a safe way, a socially distanced way. And then I remembered the old show that I had wanted to direct, and I brought it to the board and I said, hey, this is something we might want to look into. This is something we can do right now.
It's funny how that mental Rolodex can click through things and actually come up with something sometimes that you can actually really go, oh my God, I remember this thing I did 30 years ago.
Right.
Now is the perfect time. It'd
be great for that. And I knew that there would be the question of why is the scruffy fur bag the person to direct this? But honestly, first of all, I really appreciate the strong female influences in my life. I'm dear friends with Maura Taylor, Sarah Dakin, my wife, Carrie Lewis, my own mother. Like I have these female influences, and my goal is not to direct these women or tell them how to play these characters. I can't do that. They can tell me how to play the characters. I can guide them to what will be a solid performance and put the show together from a technical level. I can't tell them what to do, though. I'm a guide. They'll have the characters inform them, and I'll let them know what looks good and sounds good.
What a great way of putting it. I think that's an excellent way to sum up what your role is as director in a situation like this.
Yeah, you can't delude yourself into going, I'm going to tell them what the female experience is. I can't do that. Now, I know these characters on a human level. Sure. I can empathize with them, or at minimum sympathize with them a great deal, but I don't know their plight as a woman, and I'm not going to pretend to do so.
Well, and we're all thankful for that, Ron.
I bet you are.
Now you've already had auditions for the piece. How many people came out to auditions?
We had about 15 people altogether audition. We have 11 roles that were available.
Is there double, triple casting kind of things, or?
No, the publisher recommends against that.
Okay.
And I understand why. At this point, I don't think they would begrudge me if I did decide to do that because of the quarantine and everything. But fortunately, I didn't need to. I had 15 phenomenal auditions. I was so pleased with everybody. Like, the talent really came out for this, and they were all swinging for the fences, every last one of them. It was wonderful to see.
Well, now you've shared that it's an evening of monologues. It's an all women cast,
yes,
all female cast. Pardon me, but that's just the physical structure of the show. Is this a comedy? Is it a drama? What's the arc of the evening?
Well, it's all of that. They can expect to laugh real hard. There are some tense moments in there. There will be some surprises they may not be expecting, and a lot of tears.
Mm.
A lot of tears. These
The human
stories are.
experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Yeah. These stories, some of them really get to you. And again, from a human level.
And when is the play, Ron? I know you told me earlier. I believe that you said you open on the 23rd of April.
That is correct. April 23rd, and then Saturday the 24th, and a matinee on the 25th, and then again on the April 30th, May 1st, and then the final matinee on May 3rd.
Gotcha. And what can people expect on? I know something we've dealt with a lot as
Yes.
we've opened and then shut down a little bit, reopened a little bigger, shut down a little. You have this whole back and forth flexibility as
Right.
far as what you're trying to do as far as adhering to the COVID guidelines that are set out. What is HCP looking at doing to provide confidence to the audience members coming in, that the space is safe to be in for this performance?
We've discussed taking temperatures of the audience as they come in. Nothing has been set in stone about that. So
Gotcha.
I'm not exactly sure. I can't assure them that every night after rehearsal, every night after shows, we sanitize the area utterly and completely. And unless we're notified that it is not necessary, masks are absolutely, you're not going to see the show without a mask, and that we can't be movable on that.
And I imagine there's a capacity limitation on the space.
There is a capacity limitation. It'll be dependent upon how many people are coming together.
Sure. And that could change between now and then as far as what the guidelines are statewide,
Right.
what percentage you can do. So it's a moving target. I've been there.
That's exactly the thing. We're going in faith that things will look better by April.
Amen.
And there's nothing else we can do but go through the process and hope for the best.
Absolutely. Now, ticket prices for this event.
They are $18 for general admission, and then $15 for military and students and seniors.
And are you back at the Science Auditorium on ECTC campus?
We are. We're right there in the ECTC lobby at the Science Building. They can come in and get tickets, although for this particular show, I would not recommend walking in. I don't even think we're going to take walk-ins just because of the situation.
Oh, I understand perfectly. We're really, really trying to encourage people to make reservations because it's just really important with the capacity limitations that we know who is coming so that we know how many seats we have left for sale. The seating is always limited there at the Science Auditorium on campus, even more so under these guidelines right now. So yeah, get your tickets in advance.
Yeah, absolutely. Call us at our box office. Unless they've changed it, it's 270-351-0577. I've had that memorized since 1989, by the way.
That's before you saw this play.
Yeah, that was several years before I was even involved in the theater in Bowling Green at all.
And of course, they can go to the Hardin County Playhouse website to find out all of this information there. And what's coming up next for the Hardin County Playhouse after this production of Talking With?
We have yet to make a determination on next season. I can't give any hints right now.
This is a toe in the water. I get it.
Absolutely. Talking With is our way of saying we're still here, we're in the community, and we are looking to continue to build HCP. We don't plan on stopping. We've never planned on stopping.
That's a good thing.
I think so.
And I have to say I identify with that as well. There's never been a point through all of this that I've said we're done.
No,
because there's so much planning involved. There may not be things that you can do in the present, but there is always a future to plan for and to work toward.
I think the quarantine in some ways was a blessing, a mixed blessing, obviously, but those of us who do want to mount productions and continue the theatrical tradition in this town didn't take the time off during the quarantine. We weren't in public. We weren't even together, unfortunately, which is sometimes a little sad for all of us. We all miss being together. But there were several of us that have not rested. You know, we were always planning, plotting, trying to figure out how to get back.
Yeah. Well, and all of that will come to fruition very soon, particularly with you guys working on, again, Talking with
Yes.
performances at the end of April, starting the 23rd through May 2nd. You can go to their website, hardincountyplayhouse.org. Am I correct?
I think it's .com.
.com. We'll find
.com.
it for sure. We'll put it along the bottom, so we make sure
Oh,
that for sure.
like a
And-
ticker thing?
Like a ticker.
Like the New York
Yep,
Times
exactly.
ticker? I'm so excited about that. I'm going to watch now because of that.
Ron, it's good to hear your laugh. Take care, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much, Bart. You take care as well.
Well, folks, that's going to wrap things up for another edition of the Monthly Marquee. I'm your host, Bart Levens, Director for the Hardin County Schools Performing Arts Center, and we will see you back at the PAC and back here next month.
'Cause you got to love it, yeah. So, time. 'Cause I'm moving on the groove. 'Cause you got to love it, yeah. So, time. 'Cause I'm moving on the groove.
As things start to thaw outside, so does the freeze on activity at the PAC. We may not be as busy as usual, but this March is undoubtedly shaping up to be a lot more active than last March. As I write, North Hardin's Drama Club is performing an evening of monologues. And a week later, Central Hardin Drama Club will present 2-1X. These shows are the first for these organizations in over a year. Then, close on their heels, Allegro Dance Theater returns to the PAC with Matilda Jr. In addition to these performances, there are 2 great opportunities this month for students to get on stage again. Youth Theater of Hardin County is holding the last of their audition workshops for students 6th through 12th grade in preparation for The Addams Family this summer. And Missoula Children's Theater, MCT, will be casting students 1st through 8th grade when they return to the PAC with Sleeping Beauty. Due to COVID, MCT's casting process will be a little different this time around. Instead of in-person auditions, we'll be asking parents to register their students for participation at a time later this month. These performances and performance opportunities follow strict COVID guidelines, and audience capacity is severely limited. So go to thepac.net right now and get your tickets before they're gone. Sign up for MCT before it's too late and learn more about everything coming up at the PAC. Again, at thepac.net. Yes, the snow is melting, the sun is shining, and the future for performing arts in Hardin County is starting to look brighter.